Today we are dragging and dropping the basic block and builder called a box. And previously we've been talking a lot about custom components. Here we're going to be using the basic blocks that Builder provides, copying the styles from a Figma design file directly into builder.io. Here you're going to be learning a lot more about the builder.io editor. If you want to follow along, we have our own internal design system. I'd highly recommend you take a look at these two design systems, Ant Design and Daisy UI. I'll put the links to these in the description, and it should be easier to follow along. If you have any questions, leave a comment. Let's get right into the video. We're going to copy over these to this cart page, which you'll see a lot in the Figma design file. You'll see the main layer, which is the page, and then a section, which is not a purple part, which is a component, but just a basic section. I talk about the inspect tab here. You can see that there's the layout and some of the border styling. I recommend doing the autoHTML plugin. Check this out. This is how we configure it. And when you use that plugin, you're then going to be able to go into the code. And for example, this cart, press confirm. It'll load that up. You can see it does the whole thing for you. Pretty crazy. Auto layout and everything. Cart. And we're going to copy this style. Now, there are some designs where you have a sticky element at the bottom, and you'll see that there are some things that designers will do to make it a reference design, where they'll add padding and overflow will get hidden. We need to get rid of those so that we can have the children of this element be sticky. So we're gonna do that right now. I'll show you where to go in Builder. So we dragged and drop a box, and we're gonna go to the data tab on the right side pane. We're gonna hit edit content, and we're gonna paste it right here. So you'll see that there's this and sign that we can add. The and sign means that this style only applies to this page. You can have multiple pages in Builder, and if you don't do the and sign, that class can be used in another page, which could be great for you. For us, we don't want to do that. Next, we'll get rid of those two problematic styles. And now I'll show you how to apply this. So this box, we can double click that and we can rename the layer cart. We'll go to the style tab on the right side pane. Make sure before we do anything, let's go to the desktop mode. When you drag and drop a box, by default, it'll have all these properties in the CSS properties section. Under the style tab, clear that all out. Double check all the sizes of the screens to make sure no other styles are there. We're done. Advanced section, we're going to type cart, which I believe was the style we copied over. Let's just double check. It is. And that's it. That's how easy it is to copy and paste the style over. That's method one. Method two is to recreate the style in the style tab, and the benefit is that we can dynamically do the styles. So I'll show you how to do that with another section. Let's drag and drop another box. Before I do that, actually, I pressed escape. Check out the style tab here. You'll see that you only see a layout section. Now, when you drag another box into this we just made here, by the way, you'll also see that this layer has a CSS class name, which is what we did in the advanced section. You'll see that it changes. Now it has an inner layout, and you can customize all these options. Now, don't forget, we need to clear out the style under CSS properties. And we're going to do the same thing for this header part. We have AutoHTML, header, add to cart. So padding. What you can normally do is go to the box that you want. There's a margin and padding section, and you can add the options here, copy it over. What I like to do, just to make it a bit faster, if we go to new CSS properties and type padding, it'll autocomplete for you. You can press the down arrow to see if it has any of the options for you. If not, copy and paste exactly what you see here. I'm not including the semicolon, and paste. And look at that, you can see the padding is starting to appear. Next, I will grab the next one, display flex. We'll do display. This one has, everything is here already for us. Flex, and repeat the process for the rest of the styles. And that's the other way to do it. The benefit is that when you press down, you kind of saw that I had this here, that you can bind dynamic data. There's many ways to bind data into Builder. That's a whole other video. The main way I recommend doing it is having it so that when you're in the data, everything that you want to have is in your content state, which is a state object. And it has all these properties that you want. And I'll show you an example of how we can do this. So if I go to the Figma file, I'm going to go to the Inspect tab. I'm going to go to the cart, and I want to grab one of these colors. I'm in HSL. I'm going to grab this color. I'm going to copy and paste that. Let's go back to Builder. We're going to go to this cart that we made that's up there. Go to the Style tab. I'm going to go to the Background section. Fill Color. We're going to click Dynamically Bind. Custom Code. That state that I showed you is accessible right here. You would do state dot whatever property was in there. In our case, we had test, which was an array, and the values were 1, 2, 3. I think 2 was, or 3 was item 2. And here's what we're going to do. It needs to return a string. So we're going to make this a string, a template string, actually. 163, we're going to make this a variable, and I'm going to do 90 plus state.test times, I'm just doing some random math here, honestly, just so you see the changes. And there you go. We can see that the color changed, and if I change the value to another item in that array, you can see that it changed again, and there's one more value. And it changed again, very slight. And just so you understand what I'm talking about, content state, I have something called test, where each item has a value. And that's the benefit of using the styles in this tab, again, that you can dynamically bind the options. Now, if you want to clear what you dynamically bound, you can see in the layer editor here, this element has dynamic data, and you can see it right here, and we could just get rid of it, and it's gone. Just like that. That's in the data tab section. To get the best of both worlds, what you want to do is find all the elements in your design that are static, paste those, whether you do the CSS properties or you could just paste it here to save some time, which is the main reason for that other method. And then the property that you want to be dynamic, find it in the editor, and if it's not there, go to the CSS properties section, and you can see whatever you do there appears here. Press the down button, do the binding, and that's where you want to have that style there, and that's how you can combine the best of both worlds. If you want to get more detail, check out the other training videos. I'll see you in the next one.